Melted into computer screen. Yo, what's going on? It's someone that's no one, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report is coming from Cuss off Earwood. When this happened, 2005. The drug used was Zolpidem, or more commonly known as Ambien, at a dose of 20 milligrams. The route of administration was orally. Gender, male. Weight, 165 pounds. Prior experience includes cannabis, speed, Xanax, and alcohol, and the setting, at home in his room. So here's a first look at Ambien, where in this experience, Cuss decides to try it for the first time in hopes of hallucinating, which if you don't know, that can very well happen off Ambien, among a variety of other effects. We'll be breaking down Zolpidem more at the end, and what a typical experience may consist of. This report is pretty interesting and shows a bit of the uniqueness of this drug. I'm sure you'll like it, so without further ado, let's dive right into this. Let me start off by saying that I'm a student in all honors and advanced placement classes. I have only recently tried experimenting with certain drugs to see their effects on my body and mind. I hope to better get in touch with my mind. I have explored lucid dreaming and decided that trying a psychoactive that makes you hallucinate would be the next best thing. After much research, I decided that Ambien would be a safe first try, being that before this, I had only experimented with marijuana, speed, Xanax, and a lot of alcohol. I used various websites to determine Ambien safety and decided that taking up to 20 milligrams would not put me at too much of a risk, so long as I stayed immobile and in my room. After gathering information and deciding that it would be worth a try, I obtained 2 10-milligram pills from a relative and settled in. I had made sure this was the right time and place for me to try it in a safe manner without attracting too much attention. I decided to first take 10 milligrams, thinking that it would make me hallucinate, and after some time passed, I realized that it was not enough. I had hoped that only one pill would work, so I would have been able to experience the psychoactive effects of Ambien on 2 separate occasions. 7:53 p.m. I took 10 milligrams of Ambien. My heart was racing due to the nervousness. 8:05 p.m. By this time, I had grown tired. I felt as if I would pass out at any moment if I were to close my eyes. 8:30 p.m. I went to the bathroom, and upon getting up, I felt a little wobbly. Walking straight lines was a task. 8:35 p.m. I felt as if I was stoned or buzzed off a few beers. It was slightly euphoric, but I needed some music. 8:49 p.m. I took the other 10-milligram pill because I didn't feel like I was experiencing the effects I had imagined. 8:55 p.m. The experience became more dreamlike. There were slight visual distortions, but only if I really focused. It was a crazy, totally euphoric feeling. 9 p.m. I had a hallucination of my body being drawn into a never-ending cycle of circles. 9:05 p.m. I had another hallucination of being sucked into my computer. I felt as if I had melted into the computer screen. I was one with the screen. I had to remind myself every so often that I was on Ambien, and the things I was seeing and feeling weren't actually real. I got very confused by the computer and the IM boxes from AOL, which made no sense to me. They were all highly zoomed and distorted. I tried talking to friends online, but since my motor skills were totally messed up, by the peak of the sedative effects of the Ambien, I was unable to type correctly in a coherent manner. I got frustrated by the confusing boxes appearing on the computer and melting into the screen. So I shut off the computer screen and I lied down on my bed, which was a mistake. I last remember watching TV, and then after that, I'm guessing I blacked out and fell asleep, but at no time did I consciously make the decision to sleep or close my eyes. I awoke the next morning to my mom saying my name and telling me to wake up. I felt 100% rested and not the least bit groggy. Ambien was a generally positive experience. I learned from my experience that 10 milligrams is not enough to hallucinate. It only makes me feel sort of drunk and stoned with a slight euphoric feeling. With 20 milligrams, I hallucinated, felt completely euphoric, and was generally unaware of my surroundings. I would definitely try this great drug again, but I would do it in an environment that is more stimulating. It would have definitely been better with friends around, to amuse me, to help keep me awake, so I can enjoy the effects. So Zolpidem, are more commonly known as Ambien, a fairly well-known substance to a degree in pop culture, but I don't think most people even have a general idea of what it can do. Understandably so, considering it is more of a complex drug compared to your normal benzo. Now, normally Ambien will be prescribed to people to help combat insomnia, and when used in the right doses, it can be fairly effective at helping people with this. When abused is when the potential adverse effects arise, or recreational effects, however one wants to look at it. Now, Ambien and other Z drugs are often compared to benzos with a lot of their effects. Physically, it will provide similar feelings of sedation, motor loss control, relaxation, increased appetite, and more. Mentally, there will be disinhibitions, a dreamlike euphoria, possibly blacking out, memory loss, and more. But the higher one goes with the dose, the more it's been reported that one will possibly hallucinate. And the types of hallucinations seem to have no boundaries, though a lot of dissociative type and delirium type hallucinations seem to be the most common. It can get pretty unpredictable for what the user may experience. It may even get to the point where they do have amnesia and act out in an undesirable way that causes consequences. It almost reminds me of PCP by the way it can end up going, but still very comparable to a benzo, in that someone can just black out and go ham doing some stupid shit. But this experience here, I think, provided a fair look at what may happen with Ambien, which I think his hallucinations provided a very distorted and dissociative view of reality, and at 20 milligrams, that isn't a really high dose by any means, so you can get an idea of where this can end up going. But I do want to bring up another report to compare. Though this is our first Ambien report, it isn't the first report where we're covering a Z drug. We've previously covered Zolpidem, other known as Imovane, which is prescribed for the same reasons as Ambien. I want to bring up the report Danger by Vernet. Now, I do want to say alcohol was also ingested prior, which probably had an impact on the overall experience, but the dose of Zolpidem ingested was 30 milligrams, and for Zolpidem, that would be considered like a heroic dosage, just super strong. Now, the user and a friend did just black out, while another friend tried to watch over them. Their friend reported they said they saw demons, and in result, they turned the house upside down. They threw dishes and glasses against the wall, and also used a flamethrower out of a deodorant bottle and a lighter. And the user's parents showed up the next morning to wake them up. Just terrible. I'm sure that can give you an idea of what can potentially happen with this substance. But this report today only showed a glimpse of that, and more so what a medicated dosage would provide for someone. Still insightful nonetheless. So we're going to end it there today. If you guys did like this report, want to see more reports on Ambien or any drug at that, let me know in the comments below and we can do it. If you liked the video, hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, follow the socials, share the video. It's been Someone That's No One, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.